Hello, this is Rogers Redding, National Coordinator of Football Officials, and I'd like to welcome you to another in our series of videos designed especially for the media and the fans. As we always try to do in these videos, we pick out a few plays that will be of interest to you from a rule standpoint, and particularly if they're kinds of plays that you don't often see or if they're plays that we often get questions about. So, without any further ado, let's get right to the plays. I put this on here because it's a rather unusual play where we see a player batting a ball forward. Now, he can bat a ball backward, but it is illegal to bat it forward in the field of play or any direction in the end zone. The ball is rolling on the ground like this. He can bat it backwards, and of course he can bat a pass. That's not a foul, but a ball that's rolling around on the ground like this cannot be deliberately batted forward in the field of play or any direction in the end zone. Now, batting is a deliberate act, not just some scramble where players will hit the ball and trying to pick it up. This is a deliberate act, clearly batting, striking it deliberately with the hand or arm, and that's a foul. Now, there is a foul on this play, but the flag on the ground is not for the batting, it's for another foul, it's for holding. So the officials don't get the batting foul, although they should have, because this is illegal. Here we have another case of intentional grounding where the player who throws the pass is not the player who gets the original snap. And as we've seen in plays on previous videos, this is a foul if he gets out, even if he gets outside the tackle box and even if he throws the ball beyond the neutral zone. Remember that if the quarterback takes the ball from the snapper, he can ground it legally by getting outside the tackle box and throwing it beyond the line of scrimmage. But if he gives that ball up to anybody else, even if he gets it back, he's not allowed to legally ground the ball. And so the referee does a good job of explaining this. The TV announcers do a really good job of explaining this also. And you can see that the coach is confused because he believes it's legal since the player got outside the tackle box. So again, we've seen this before, but I just thought it'd be useful to see another example of this because we are seeing this somewhat more frequently than we have in the past.
The quarterback had handed the ball off. He had given up possession. He is not eligible to legally ground the ball. Intentional grounding. Number 14 in the offense. Ball replaced to the spot of the ball.
That's a very important distinction, and that's a great job by Stephen Strimling to explain that. Once you give up possession of the ball, you're no longer allowed to ground the ball legally. So on flea flickers, it doesn't matter if you're out of the pocket or not.
Here's a play where the official throws a flag for clipping. I want you to see this because clipping is a foul that has almost gone out of our game. We don't see it very much anymore. So you can see it here where the force of the contact is below the waist from behind. Now, sometimes people feel like if the player gets his head in front, that's okay, but that has nothing to do with it. The fact is that if the force of the contact is from behind, regardless of where the head is, then that's a clipping foul. And as I say, we don't see it very much anymore, so I wanted you to have a look at one just so you can have a picture of what this foul looks like.
Personal foul, clipping, number 72 on the offense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
On this play, you can see that two players in the offensive backfield both go in motion at the same time and they're still moving at the snap. This is illegal. This is called an illegal shift. In other words, shift is one of those words that's used somewhat differently in technical rules language than it is in everyday talk. By shift, we mean more than one player moving. So anytime you have more than one player on the offensive team moving, that's called a shift. And if that still happens at the snap, then it's illegal. They can make this legal by both of them getting stopped and sitting still for 1 second and then the ball being snapped, and that would be okay. But as long as they're both moving at the snap, this is a foul. Now, the referee announces an illegal motion, but technically this is an illegal shift.
Penalty for 30
illegal
yards.
Motion on the offense, 2 men in motion at the snap. Be a 5-yard penalty, third down.
Here's one you don't see every day. You're going to see a player here that loses his helmet and continues to participate in the play. In fact, he puts a rush on the passer while he's running around without his helmet on. A few years ago, the Rules Committee made this a foul because it's dangerous, obviously, for a player to play without his helmet. So when a player's helmet comes off, he simply must stop playing. Now, that's hard for players to do because they want to continue to be in on the action, but it's a dangerous situation, and so the rule is they must simply stop playing. Now, he'll have to come out of the game for one play also. If the helmet comes off directly because of a foul, he doesn't have to leave the game, but he still has to stop playing in his tracks and not continue to participate in the play.
Defense, number 37, participating with his helmet on. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Here we have a foul for an ineligible receiver being downfield on a pass play. This is rather unusual in the sense that the receiver that goes downfield is number 84. That's an eligible number. He's eligible to catch a pass with that number, but he also has to be eligible by position. And in this case, you can see that the wide out to his side gets up on the line of scrimmage and, as we say, covers him up. In order for him to be eligible, he's got to be wearing a correct number and be on the end of the line or in the backfield. And since he's not on the end of the line, he's no longer eligible. Now you can see that the wide receiver clearly intended to be in the backfield because there are only 3 other players in the backfield. So he just makes a mistake by getting up on the line of scrimmage, and it costs him a penalty. Now I point out that the formation itself is not illegal. That is, there's nothing wrong with number 84 being covered up as far as the formation is concerned. The foul comes in when he goes downfield on a pass play. So the formation's okay, but it's one that prevents him from being eligible to catch a pass.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 84 in the offense. He was covered up by a wideout. It's a 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Among the toughest play for officials to call and for fans and others to understand is a pass play where the question is, was the pass complete or incomplete? And if it's complete, was there a fumble? This is a difficult play because there are some rules about what it means to catch a pass, and not everyone who watches the game understands those rules. This is a good illustration of a player who catches the ball and then fumbles. And the reason he catches the ball is because he does complete the process of the catch. That is, he gets possession of the ball, has it in firm control, and then does something common to the game. He takes a couple of steps, and then he gets hit, the ball comes out. This is not a bang-bang play in the sense that he doesn't get the ball and then immediately lose it. That would be an incomplete pass. But here he possesses it and then is able to do something common to the game, which is, in this case, taking a step or two but to begin his run. And then the ball comes out, and that's a fumble. So this is correctly ruled on the field. Many times these plays will go to replay because the plays are always so close, and many times it's unclear immediately whether it was an incomplete pass or a catch and then a fumble. Here's a pass play where the receiver commits offensive pass interference. This looks a little different from the usual offensive pass interference. Normally we see a player who will push from the front so to get separation between himself and the defender. In this case, the receiver pushes the defender in the back to sort of shove him on by him so that he creates that separation for a catch. So just want you to see this as another illustration of offensive pass interference.
The pass interference, number 82. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 4th down.
Well, that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed these plays. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with some more. Thanks very much for watching, and have great games this weekend.